All right, so several days later, finally got the part in, and that took a while. These Focus parts, they're getting a little harder to find, but I found it. I found the Motorcraft version of the O2 sensor. I wanted it to match the same size. So if you look at the size that I have here and the size that came on this NTK, they're roughly the same size. You can get ones that are the smaller ones that look like they're for the Bank 2 sensor, and they're claiming they're the Bank 1 sensor, but they have the small little lead on them. That's not the right one. You want the big lead that you see here. You want the big lead, not the small lead, because that's not the right sensor, even though it tells you that it's, oxygen sensor Bank 1 for mainstream and has a little small lead. It's not the right one. I don't know why they're doing that. Like it really annoys me. I always say go with the Motorcraft parts. Here's the part number. If you want to try to find this, I got mine out of Alabama because no one in my area had one. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's get over to the car. All right, let's open up this hood. Okay. It's already in here. Here is, of course, what we already talked about. Let me get this unpacked, grab the tripod, and turn my light on. I finally got it charged. My headlamp, there you go. You can see a little better now. And we'll get the stuff put in here. I apologize for nothing. You can't see this, mainly because it's boring putting in this sensor, but there's not enough space for me to bring you down to see this go in. So you just have to use your imagination. Okay, I need to get down in here, slide in between a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, line it up all nice like. Give myself a lot of room. There we go. Thought I had it. Believe it or not, but I did get the sensor reconnected down there and snugged, not Hercules. Remember, you don't need to Hercules tight anything, but I do think you kind of got to Hercules tight this one, to be honest. You don't want it to leak, but I gave it just enough of a Hercules tight and nothing more. Okay, so I need to get back on the battery and start this bad boy up and see if we have takeoff. So my garage door battery decided to die, so I had to take it out. And well, I guess I'm doing this manually today. It's kind of crazy how stuff like this seems to happen all at the beginning of the year. Kind of suspicious, if you ask me. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up a little bit of the way. I could plug it back in and just use it like normal. I might do that. And let some of the exhaust gases go out so it won't clogging up my garage. I'm breathing in the carbon monoxide. Not good for your health, All right, that should be good enough right there. Let's get in the car. All right, so I'm gonna load it up here just like normal. I'm going to go over, yes, connect the vehicle. Let's go to read codes. And I'm going to clear anything that's here. Okay, So no trouble codes. And we're going to start the car. Make sure I'm in neutral. Starts up just fine. Go over the live data. Okay, so as of right now, my check engine light has stayed off. I still have that pending. Let me let it load up here. I still have the pending assistant to lean code.
It's cold out here.
So maybe,
Goodness gracious.
maybe it will go off. Maybe. I want to see if it's going to throw the check engine light so that I can use my freeze frame to go back and take a look at. I mean, my short trim is way up now. Engine coolant is getting up there, so starting to get open. So let's just see. Let's see what we're working with.
Let's go. Come on. Starting to shake. I'm getting cold.
All right, so I found the old rail, the upgraded fuel injectors. I got to clean them up a little bit. They're a little dusty. Here's the idea behind what I'm thinking. A long time ago, like I said, I put these in the car and got that code. It wasn't the P0171 code. I'm going to put these in here in the Focus now, and the thing is to see if I get the P0172 code or whatever the system's running to rich code, which would then define that my fuel injectors are indeed bad. I don't have to go buy new fuel injectors. I can try these. If the P0171 code does not show up, that means that I have likely some bad, probably my cylinder 1 fuel injector is bad, but the idea will be to swap all of them out. You know, obviously you don't want to run with too much fuel either. So let's go and see if this this history that CEL is going to show up, and we'll finally get rid of that P0171 code, and then we'll know. We'll have the final coffin for this P0171 if this is what I think it is. So I change out the fuel injectors, back in the car. I'm about to turn it on, or I'll start it. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. Make sure that I'm in neutral. Let me get out here and check, make sure. just let's wait a little bit. We're gonna see, provide you a little commentary right now. So what I did was I changed out my fuel injectors. I actually did not use the 60-pound injectors because the Focus does not have a tune on it, and those 60-pound injectors would have through a check engine code P0172, which means that the engine would have been running too rich, too much fuel, which will definitely kill, if you run it for any length of time, your catalytic converter and create more problems. So what I'm doing is I bought some new fuel injectors off Amazon. Let's be transparent here. I'm going to swap these out, but I wanted to see if it was going to work before I buy the real ones, because these are cheap. And if they work, then I'll swap in the motorcraft parts, and we'll kind of go from there. The caveat is that these don't work, and now I'm kind of like, all right, what is going on? Is it the Amazon part, or should I get the motorcraft one? So I'm really setting myself up here. I don't know. I can already see that fuel trim is acting kind of weird here. Let me go back and look at the trouble codes, see if anything's popped up, anything's pending. We don't have any pending codes. No pending trouble codes right now, which is beautiful. Those fuel injectors sound terrible. Not going to lie. They sound terrible, but they are doing their job. I had to give them that. And look, you know, the fuel trim is down to where it needs to be. That long-term fuel trim isn't up in the 30s. The short-term fuel trim seems to be where it needs to be. This is what I wanted to see right here. This is what I wanted to see. Oh, this is awesome. Of course, you know, I have those trouble codes due to having my doors, all the wiring out of the doors. But this is what you want to see right here. This right here, what you want to see. You know, no trouble codes. And then when you come over here, you want to see your short trim around this percentage, right? You want to see that. You want to see your long-term trim at this range. It should not be at almost 30% for long trim. Like, that's insane. Car's idling really well. It'll get down to like the 800s as the car warms up. But I would say this car is now officially ready for its drive. We're not seeing your short trim levels in the minus. We weren't seeing them super low, and they were not staying low. They were super high. And we were not seeing the long-term trim ratios below 20%. Let that sink in. If you go back and watch the other videos, you can see. And if you look at your math Look at where it is. Like, this is good data right here for someone that might be going through this same issue. And you know, I just kind of narrowed it down. What's really hard to differentiate is the O2 sensor. O2 sensor could be the issue, which I think in this case I did have an O2 sensor issue along with my fuel injectors. The fuel injectors on this car were the original from the Ford factory, and you know, those are probably like 22, 23 years old. So they've been on here on the car a long time. Look at that. Of course, go down here, be transparent, show you what's on the DTC, and look at my pending trouble codes. Green. We got nothing here. Absolutely great. For giggles, I'm gonna go look at my monitor test and see. Yeah, these typically don't go off until you drive the car. So, you know, if these are here red, you got some problem. If your 3 continuous tests are in the red, you got a big problem. But these you actually have to drive. I have a whole video about that and what you can do to initiate each of these tests, and I'll have to do that so that I can get this ready for smog. But officially, you know, the Focus is back to being able to get on the road, if you will. I can actually drive this thing now. Put insurance back on it and drive it. All right, hood's closed. So we made it. We did it. I am super stoked about it. Now we get to drive it. Okay. And with that issue out of the way, I can focus as soon as the weather clears up. And as you see, Texas is, you can never guarantee you're going to be able to do anything as far as painting goes if you don't have like a painting booth, and I don't have one of those. I don't paint enough cars to buy one either, so it won't benefit me to do that. I'll just have to wait until the weather clears up. This kind of puts a halt on all of the stuff I'm doing for the pack mule and my facility. But as soon as the weather clears up, I can paint this thing. What I'm going to do in the meantime is get this thing out of the garage and drive it. Get the, like I said, and before I fade it out, is I'm going to get the insurance and tags back on it, or at least get it to pass smog and drive it for a little bit, take the engine back out, take the transmission out, and fix the speed sensor. I have the speed sensor up here in my little box here of Focus parts, and I will be able to the vehicle will be able to tell what speed it's going. I can do that in the car now because I have GPS, so it's not really an issue for me, but I would like for that to work because it was working before I took the open differential out and put in a limited slip differential. This car has a limited slip differential. It's, out of the 2 cars, I definitely like driving this one better. What I am going to do though is when I separate the engine transmission and put the D25 back in, is I'm going to upgrade the flywheel to a single mass flywheel instead of a dual mass flywheel. What I noticed between this car and the Focus outside is the Focus outside has a single mass flywheel on it, and it engages and disengages super quick. This, with the dual mass flywheel, it will tend to hang on the RPMs. And since I've been driving that one so much, the Mark III, I've become accustomed to the quick acceleration and deceleration of the RPMs. So I will definitely be upgrading this to the single mass flywheel. And then once everything is running, you know, everything right now is running tip top. Once I can verify that all my D25 stuff is running tip top shape, I will then seek out FS Works to put the turbo on it. And then we will officially have our boosted Focus ST. So that is the future of the car. Painting will come before any of that Focus, the FS Works stuff. But this is the future of it. And this will be the color, as you can see. That'll be the color of the Focus. I I'm gonna go ahead and get that stuff on order in February, the paint, and I think we're gonna be off to the races. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please do. You know, if you like this kind of stuff, really get in the comment section. Yeah, it is what it is. You know, if you watch it, you watch it. This is what I do. You know, I do this stuff. I do focused arm stuff. I do house stuff. I'm focused hands through and through. It's not just this stuff. But this is near and dear. This car is something that I've been working on for literal years at this point. And I am stoked that we are moments away from just being able to drive this thing every day and have it out of the garage. That's how close we are. And like I said, if you've been watching this channel for that long, kudos to you. I need to do something special once all this is said and done. Maybe I'll do like a woodworking project and put it out for one of you all to win. I'll work on something. We'll see. I have some ideas up my sleeve right now, what I think I might do. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. That was a lot for me to do. This whole process you're seeing here is less than an hour for the second part of this video. But this took several days of my time to come to this conclusion. I had already reached it earlier on, which is funny, of what I thought it was. But I needed to test it. And then you all got to see the testing and whatnot, et cetera, et cetera. And here we are. Case closed. So if you got this problem, make sure you check those fuel injectors, because if they are the OEM ones, they got to come off. Because this car is like, I think it's 23 years old, either 21, 22, 23 years old. I don't do math in public. But yeah, those are old parts, and you're going to need to replace them, you know, every now and then. Keep your car on the road. These cars, they're almost bulletproof, man. You know, I have nothing but great things to say about the Focus, especially the manual version. If I can find myself a SAP bumper for the front, before I paint it again, that's going to be ideal. Shouting out at you, Project Jasmine. I know you got one. And then maybe some OEM side mirrors for it again, because I messed mine up with trying to paint. Is a long story short. Yeah, if I can find a rear bumper too, that'd be nice. But I'm converting to dual exhaust for this car. I know if you're a purist, hey, look, it is what it is. This car should have came with dual exhaust from the factory. It should not have been a single exhaust. Well, I've been trying to get out of here. I'll catch y'all in the next episode. Stay focused. Peace.